With so much going on in the DC universe, isn't it time for a rebirth? Welcome to the Complete Story series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then I read it dramatically back to you. Alterations to the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. This is a very special issue for me as it begins a new status quo in DC. The events of this are actually linked to the very first video that we ever did in this channel, Flashpoint. And if you want to see how far our style has changed since then, check out the first video, Flashpoint. It is linked down below. To completely understand what's going on, I also recommend reading or watching The Dark Side War and the Final Days of Superman. I lost time. Everyone did. Looking down at the world, there is something missing. I've been removed from reality like this. It happened a few times, but I always had a way to get back. But I can't find her now. Because of that, I'm outside of reality, unable to return. So I've been searching for someone to make contact with, and I'm going to try and get Bruce Wayne's help. He knows what it's like to lose everything. Bruce Wayne is sitting in front of the Bat computer praying for a sighting of Superman. He was there when Superman died, his greatest friend, and he is hoping beyond all odds that Superman will just get back up and be that shining beacon again. If you're interested in the death of Superman, the video is linked down below. Alfred informs Batman that the Joker was spotted in Civic City, and Batman tells him that the Joker was actually just caught in Baltimore and he's being transferred to Arkham. So Alfred asks, how is it possible for there to be two Jokers? And Bruce lets him know that there aren't two Jokers. There are three, apparently. He was told this by the Chair of Knowledge that turned Batman into a god. This is the Dark Side War storyline, which is also linked down below. Bruce is sitting there trying to figure all of this out when a bolt of lightning hits the ground. Bruce! And there stands Wally West, the fastest man alive. Bruce, I need your help! Bruce turns around confused as to who that is. Who are you? Bruce, you know me. I'm younger than you'd remember. We all are. My name is But before he can finish this statement, Wally is pulled into the space between the realities. He doesn't belong here, and without a tether, he can't return. But he fights it. He holds onto himself in this reality. My name is Wally. Remember how you got that letter, Bruce? The letter from your father? The one from Thomas Wayne? It's how all of this started. Ask Barry about it. The lightning then pulls him back, pulling him out of reality once again. Bruce calls out, wait, don't go! But it's too late, and the lightning pulls Wally away, and suddenly something hits the wall next to Bruce. He then looks back at the letter that he received 5 years ago, when Barry Allen claimed to have come out of another timeline, one where Bruce's father was alive. Wally tumbles through the fabric between realities, the Speed Force holding him there, but the timelines are trying to auto-correct him. As he falls, he thinks to himself how he has to find someone. He needs to get back. He has to warn his friends of what is coming. But who is Wally? He doesn't look like the one that we have in our current timeline. When he was 13, he met with the Flash through his Aunt Iris, and then in a freak accident, he was granted the powers of the Flash. He became the Kid Flash, running with his idol and eventually joining many teams, including the Teen Titans. Then, one day the skies turned red, and the end of the world was upon them. Barry died that day in an event known as the Crisis of Infinite Earths. This left Wally to become the only Flash, and he carried on the mantle, until the day that Barry Allen came back, and everything was perfect, until it wasn't. Barry decided to go back in time and save his mother, and by doing so, he altered time itself and created an event known as the Flashpoint. He was able to correct everything by going back and fixing the Flashpoint, but as he was running back to the future, something changed. Someone reached out between the broken timelines and altered things. This person stole 10 years from our heroes, an entire decade removed. Heroes who were once legends became novices, and the bonds between them were weakened and erased. Legacies were completely destroyed, and no one knows this happened except for Wally. But the secret isn't that the Flashpoint changed everything. It's that someone else did, and whoever they are still out there. Wally continues his attempts as he seeks someone out who was connected to the lightning. And in a home for the elderly, an old man is running through the building trying to find an exit with the orderlies chasing him. He demands to be let go. He has things to do! And he locks himself in a room when behind him, the lightning goes off again and Wally appears. He tells the man to listen. You need to find the Justice Society. You need to bring them together. And the old man begins to cry. I've been trying to! Then, Wally is ripped out of reality again as the orderlies break in and try to pull the old man out, and he shouts, Thunderbolt! Thunderbolt, where are you? As Wally is tumbling through reality, a few other things begin to connect and happen around the world, such as a woman wearing a Legion ring claiming to see the future. A young boy named Ryan Choll looking for Dr. Ray Palmer, only to be granted his own shrinking device and told to find Dr. Ray Palmer in the temporal nanostructure of the timeline. Jaime Reyes meets with Ted Kord, and Ted wants them to team up and become superheroes together in his flying mobile beetle headquarters. But as Jaime leaves Ted's side, Dr. Fate arrives, informing Ted that the scarab is not of alien origin as he's been led to believe. It's actually magical, causing Ted to smile. Wally keeps tumbling throughout reality, seeing our new heroes, and even the baby Darkseid with his mother Grail. And as he passes by Grail, he discovers that Wonder Woman has a brother. And as he goes past the location that Superman died, he remembers Oliver Queen and Dinah Drake, once an amazing couple who don't even know each other anymore. He thinks of things that were lost, things that are weakening them, and the fact that one of those things was the love that brought them together. He then sees events that make him think of the old history that he remembers and how it's echoing throughout this universe as he watches Aquaman propose to Mera, bringing them together finally. Then, through all of it, he finally finds the lifeline that he had in his timeline, his former wife, Linda Park. The lightning drops him off in front of her, and he smiles. "It's me, Linda. It's Wally." But the look in her eyes shows that she doesn't know who he is. "Take my hand," he says, reaching out to her, and smiling. "Can I come home?" She looks at him confused. You're someone who loves you very much. We helped each other, and we will again. We'll help everyone, but it starts with us. You and me, forever." But Linda looks at him, and she reels back scared. "I don't know you." The lightning pulls at him and it tries to take him back. He hits the ground in pain, shouting, "Linda, it's me, Wally! Wally West! God, please remember me! Please!" And then in a crack of lightning, it takes him away again. Wally tries everyone that he knows, from old villains to old teammates, but no one remembers him. And his journey eventually brings him to this timeline's Kid Flash. This timeline's Wally West. And he remembers how this is actually a cousin of his who shared the same name with his uncle Daniel. And if he's going to be lost forever, at least this kid can carry on the Kid Flash mantle. Because without Linda, there's no place for him to return to. It's over. Realizing that he can't do anything to stop this and he can't go back, he decides to say a final goodbye before he loses himself forever. And in a crack of lightning, he appears before Barry Allen. Floating in front of Barry, he tells him, "You don't know who I am, and you won't remember. So this is hello and goodbye. Before I say anything else, you need to go see Batman and ask about the letter from his father. Let him know that there is something wrong with history. Someone has infected it, and you all forgot things. Like me," he says, holding his stomach as the pain increases again. "Who are you?" Barry asks. "Barry, thank you for an amazing life," Wally says as versions of him begin to fade in and out around him. "Thank you for your kindness, for inspiration, and for being there for me so many times. You were right, Barry. Every second was a gift, and I'll go with love in my heart." Then, as the lightning began to take Wally for the last time, and he began to fade out of existence, he told Barry, "Goodbye." And just as it was about to be too late, it finally dawned on Barry what was going on. "Wally?" he says, grabbing Wally's arm, and he pulls him into the proper reality. Wally hits the ground surprised. "I'm back. You said my name. You brought me back." And as tears begin to well up in Barry's eyes, "I'm so sorry, Wally. My God, how could I have ever forgotten you? I remember everything now." But then Wally's memories begin to correct themselves, and they begin to place him into his proper place in this timeline. But he wants Barry to know, it wasn't just Wally that was forgotten. Other people, friendships, relationships, they were all erased. And Barry asks him, "Are you sure it wasn't my fault?" And Wally tells him, "No, it was someone else. And he's out there right now." Meanwhile, back at the Batcave, Batman walks to a wall to see what hit it, and he sees a badge from the comedian, an individual from another time and another place, a time of Minutemen and Watchmen. And somewhere out there, another individual is discussing his plans, an individual known as Dr. Manhattan. And that is the conclusion of the DC Rebirth issue. This was a crazy ride for anyone who knew what was actually missing out of the New 52. And now that we're gonna have a bunch of DC Rebirth books, we're gonna be bringing you the solo issues that bridge the gaps between the previous timeline and the new status quo. So let me know what you thought about this, what you thought about the changes, and how you feel about what DC is doing right now in the comments down below. And don't forget, if you want to get more comic books from us, go check out our manga channel, Comicstorian, where we bring you manga every Monday and Friday, and our gaming channel, Eligible Monster, where we bring you gaming comic books every Friday. And we can chat about this on Twitter at Comicstorian. I'll see you guys over there, and I'll see you next time right here at Comicstorian.